We got a fun show for you Bulls fans today as we're going to be talking about should the Chicago Bulls bring back Derrick Rose, the youngest MVP ever, the Chicago kid? Well, he was just released by the Memphis Grizzlies yesterday, so we're going to talk about it. But before we dive into that, let's show Derrick Rose some love on today's show. Hit that thumbs up icon. I put the goal as 300 likes. We should be able to crush that out of the park. So hit that thumbs up icon if you guys want to show Derrick Rose some love, my favorite basketball player of all time by far. So hit that thumbs up icon if you want to show him some love. But Shams tweeted this out yesterday in a bit of a shocking move. I did not expect this to happen this late in the offseason, but just in, the Memphis Grizzlies are waiving former NBA MVP Derrick Rose. Also, shout out to Charania for adding in the former NBA MVP for Derrick Rose. But does it make sense for the Bulls? Well, I got two main reasons why it does. Now, number one, the fans. We'll talk about that more here in a second. But the other reason for this is the mentorship. Now, obviously, Derrick Rose is not the same player he once was back in the day. Like, he is just a shell of himself, and that is no disrespect to him. It is just the truth. You know, as many surgeries as he has had, it is just, pretty obvious he is not the same player. But when you have a guy like Ayo Dosunmu, who grew up in Chicago, played his collegiate hoops at U of I am sure he looks as D Rose as a superhero, just like I do. I grew up in Chicago. I played basketball my whole life. I view D Rose as almost a Michael Jordan-esque type of basketball player and figure in the Chicagoland area. You also got Modest Buzelis. He grew up a Bulls fan as well. Like, I think D Rose could tell these guys the day in, day out, just practice to practice, just telling them how to go about a pro, what it took, for me to get to the level he did, as he was the youngest MVP ever. Like, he had all types of talent, and I think he really developed in his career, in a perfect way of showing self-awareness, knowing he wasn't the same athlete. He developed a jump shot, and I just think he is a pro's pro. And also this for the fans, like, let's just call a spade here. The Bulls over-under, according to Vegas this year, is 27.5 wins. You are not going to be a good basketball team. You are most likely going to be a very, very bad basketball team. So why not give the fans a D Rose retirement tour? He gets in 5-10 minutes every single home game. The United Center erupts. The fans go crazy. I'd be all in for that. And plus, we know this. We know Jerry Reinsdorf wants to bring him back. Like, all he cares about is selling tickets, selling out the home games, and, credit to us Bulls fans, even though we have been a terrible basketball team over the last couple of seasons, we still sell out the United Center every single home game. So, Jerry, you want even more reason to have fans show up to the game when you're winning 25, 30 games this upcoming year? Bringing back D Rose is a great choice, and the United Center would absolutely explode. I couldn't even imagine, let's just say if the Bulls, wanted to do a whole jersey retirement, whole ordeal, and you put him in the starting lineup and you hear the hometown kid from Chicago, Illinois, Derrick Rose, the United Center, the pop would be so loud, it would be electric. But let's talk about on the basketball court here. What has D Rose done over the last 4 years? Now, the numbers don't blow you away by any means, but this past season with the Grizzlies, averaged 8 points a game, 3.3 assists, 46% from the field, pretty efficient. For Mr. Derrick Rose. But again, he's getting very limited minutes per night. He's not getting the ball a whole lot. And you got to see the games played over the last 3 years. I mean, he's playing just a quarter of the season. But I do want to go back to the 2020 year when he was with the New York Knicks and they made the playoffs. He was awesome during this playoff run. I actually remember watching this back in Chicago with a bunch of my friends who are Bulls fans, and just rooting for Tom Thibodeau and Derrick Rose. And D Rose was the leading scorer for the New York Knicks when they did lose to Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks, but 19.4 points per game, 4 assists, 5 boards, and look at that efficiency for Derrick Rose, 47% from downtown. That was awesome, and I think that just speaks to the player he is. He's a very self-aware basketball player. He knew he wasn't going to be able to rely on his athleticism, and, he developed that three-point shot at a very, very high level. But you guys let me know, would you sign Derrick Rose? Would you bring him back in that Bulls uniform? Give me an S for sign or a P for pass down below in the comment section. I'll make this a pinned comment on today's show, so if YouTube throws an ad break your way, sit back, let it play, and let me know your thoughts on the Bulls bringing back D Rose. Now, we do have a sweet deal going on right now. If you guys click this link, chatsports.com/BullsCombo, you guys can get a 2 t-shirt pack up to around 50% off. I got this last summer. They're super comfortable. They look good. They also wash very well as well. So if you guys want to get hooked up with that deal, that's the link, chatsports.com/BullsCombo. They'll be in the comments and description of today's show. Now, I do want to wrap up today's show going back in time and just talking about D Rose's tenure with Chicago. As you know, he was my favorite basketball player of all time, and this is my show. So I want to look back and see what D Rose did in his NBA career. Now, the first 2 seasons were awesome. I mean, his rookie year, he came in the league, lit it up, 17 a night, 47% from the field, and he was a great playmaker as well. And I immediately remember when I saw him during that rookie year, you saw the athleticism, you saw just the juice he played with. He followed that up the next season in 2009, 2010. All the numbers went up, got up to 20 points per game. 6 assists, 3.8 rebounds. Efficiency relatively stayed the same, but we saw those leaps from year in, year out. And specifically in that sophomore year, he really emerged as one of the best on-ball defenders at the guard position just because of how athletic he was. He was also very strong as well, as we do know. But then we finally got to the MVP year, the youngest MVP in NBA history. He lit it up, 25 points a game. 4.1 rebounds, was a great playmaker as well, 7.7 assists. You know, the efficiency wasn't as high as we see it nowadays for guards, but again, it was a different version of the NBA, but he was great. And then we saw him make his playoff debut. I will never forget where I was watching this game. I was in the basement with my brother, and we were just seeing D Rose go head-to-head with one of the best point guards in the league at the time in Rajon Rondo. Playoff debut. This man went for 36 and 11, and the best part of this was it was only 19 shots. And, you know, that was my biggest gripe, or is my biggest gripe, when I hear the comparison. Oh, if D Rose never got hurt, he would have been just another Russell Westbrook. Go show me a playoff performance where Russ had 35-plus points and took less than 20 shots. Here's a hint. It's not out there. D Rose was so much more efficient. He was just a different style of basketball player, even though they both relied on their athleticism. D Rose was just smarter. And, you know, that year in 2010, I mean, the Bulls were a wagon. They won 62 games in the regular season, squared off with the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. And, you know, the Heat just had a better ball club. You know, they had LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh in that first year, beat the Bulls in 5 games. But that 62-win season was spectacular. And then the Bulls followed up that season in the lockout year in 2011, 2012. They were the number 1 seed yet again with 50-plus wins and only playing 66 games that season. Again, the Heat were the 2 seed. And unfortunately, we do know this season was when the Bulls lost to the Sixers in the first round when Derrick Rose tore his ACL. Bulls were up 12 with about a minute 12 left. And you know, it was just disappointing. But I do want to kind of wrap it up talking about what could have been in the 2012 Bulls. This 2012 Bulls team was actually the same team that I believe they made the second round. They took a couple of games against the Miami Heat that season. But this starting lineup, like, if you talk about what they could have developed into, you had one of the best 5-man rotations in the league. I mean, D Rose, if he never got hurt, he was really probably going to be hitting his stride, hitting the peak of his powers at that time. And then you had a young Jimmy Butler. He played with all types of energy. Obviously, wasn't the same guy that he was with the Miami Heat. But Luol Deng, one of the better 3-and-D players at the time. You had Joakim Noah, one of the most versatile bigs at the time. And then the Booze Crews, Carlos Boozer. He was great. One of the best face-up games in NBA history. And, you know, this is a chalk take. Everybody says this, but, you know, anytime I think about Derrick Rose, I just think about what could have been. And, you know, I always see, like, the question being asked on social media, like, if you had to change one person's career, like, change the biggest what if in, you know, sports history, some people say, like, oh, what if Jordan never retired? What if, you know, the Brady Tuck rule, what if that never happened? What would have happened to his career? For me, it's what if D Rose never got hurt? Like, truly, maybe he could have been a top 5 point guard of all time, but who knows? It's a big what if. But I do want to close today's show out. Type those roses. If you guys are, I think you guys got roses on Android, but hey, iPhone, Android, don't matter. Show some love to Derrick Rose. Type a rose down below in the comments section. And also, I'm on Twitter, @PatSieps. Give me a follow over there. Give you guys a follow right back. But see you guys next time. Go Bulls.